صدق الله العظيم.
جزاك الله خير.
وجزاكم الله إن شاء الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today is the first day of fasting, the month of blessing, the month of mercy, the month of caring and sharing, and the month of sabr, patience. Are we prepared? Are we ourselves, each one of us, prepared for this month? Have we thought about our goals for this year during this blessed month of Ramadan? Is it going to be like every other year, or it's going to be different? What am I going to accomplish this year? What does it mean to fast? Why am I doing it? What does Ramadan mean? Ramadan is meant for our moral and spiritual training and for the purification of our bodies, minds, and souls. This month is an annual training program for all the believers. It is a special time to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to ask the blessings and bounties. It is a time to learn taqwa. It is time for self-discipline, for piety, and for patience. It is time to give more charity and become more generous. It is time to seek Allah's forgiveness and to forgive each other. It is time to be thankful to Allah for His gifts and bounties, and especially His gift of Iman. It is the month of nourish our souls. We feed our bodies for 11 months, and 1 month supposed to be for our souls. Human beings need to feed the body and the soul all the time. This year, Ramadan is not going to be like the previous years. It's not going to be easy, especially what's going on nowadays with this coronavirus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. We are blessed to have this month of Ramadan to start on Friday. It is blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, inshallah, I would like to share with you briefly 3 points. The first one is significance of fasting. Second, let's talk about some of the characteristics that we might gain during this month, especially to be patient and also to care, especially nowadays with what we're going through with this coronavirus. So when we're looking at the first point, the significance of fasting. Muslims fast in order to fulfill a religious obligation and duty. So, and also to earn Allah's pleasure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, بعد أن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you believe, fasting is ordained for you as it was ordained for those before you, so that you may attain taqwa. And taqwa, of course, is to self-restrain. Taqwa also means fearing Allah with love, practicing His revelation, accepting what Allah has given us, preparing for the departure, self-discipline, self-control, self-restraint. So all these are the meanings of taqwa. To do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do and to stay away from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to stay away from. So Ramadan brings great blessings for all of us. Fasting is both spiritual and physical. It is the fasting of the heart and all parts of the body. It is the fasting of the eyes, the mouth, the ears, every part of your body. It's not just abstaining from food. That's not really the fasting. Of course, there is a strong relationship between fasting and jihad al-nafs. So the month of Ramadan should be a month of blessings to Muslims and mankind all over the world. This type of blessing, of course, should come through the energy and effort of every one of us. The mercy of Allah will come if every one of us will share the responsibilities in propagating the message of Allah to all mankind. We cannot be selfish to care about ourselves only. We are part of this human beings all over the world. The Quran was sent to all the human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, tell the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Just mercy for all human beings. So when we're looking at this mercy, this month of Ramadan, and the significance of this month is to reach this taqwa. And in a hadith we learned from our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, that Abu Huraira related that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts during the month of Ramadan with faith and seeking his reward, Allah will have his past sins forgiven. Whoever prays during the night in Ramadan with faith and seeking his reward from Allah will have his past sins forgiven. And who passes Laylatul Qadr in prayer with faith and seeking his reward from Allah will have his past sins forgiven. So there are so many opportunities for us to gain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and also to get all these rewards. So having that in mind, then some of the characteristics we need to practice, to develop and maintain. And this is a great opportunity to have. Yes, staying home order that we are hopefully following, that it helps us to be patient and not to be upset. But also this month of Ramadan, this is one of the greatest accomplishment we can do is to be patient. This characteristics that is needed more than ever nowadays. So it was narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, "O people, a great and blessed month is approaching, and it is the month of patience and perseverance, and reward of patience is paradise." So patience is really critical. It's very important in Islam. This is why when you read the Quran, you notice that it was mentioned 103 times in 25 forms in 46 surahs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us at the end of this verse that those who patiently persevere will truly receive a reward without measure. إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. Will truly receive a reward without measures. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command us to be patient in order to succeed in this life and inshallah in the hereafter. So when we look at another verse in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of Surah Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. O you believe, persevere in patience and constancy, view with each other in such perseverance, strengthen each other, and fear Allah that you may prosper. So, brothers and sisters, this is a great opportunity for us that to practice this during this month of Ramadan, and also inshallah we can keep it after the month of Ramadan, and inshallah we can maintain that. The second characteristic that also it's critical, especially nowadays, that we're supposed to learn and practice in this month of blessings is, of course, caring. Now, if we look at it, to care and share. So the month of Ramadan is called the month of caring and sharing. Caring for others as much as we care for ourselves, and sharing with one another our happiness and our sorrows. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ taught us that Ramadan is the month of caring, and it is the month where sustenance of the believers increases. Nowadays, because of the situation we have, there are millions of people who are inflicted with some type of calamity. So just this calamity of coronavirus by itself in the United States, more than 20 million people lost their jobs. All over the world, how many thousands of people died? How many thousands of people got really bad and got sick because of this? So, and of course, there are other calamities that happen, whether war, occupation, drought, earthquakes, tornadoes. A couple of days ago, in some of the states, more than 10 people got killed because of the tornadoes. So all these forms, the calamities or natural disasters, all of these are tests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're passing through. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us now. So people are suffering and people are doing okay. Yes, it's hard for people to stay at home, but think of it this way. There are people who passed away, and the sad part of it, those people who passed away, their families didn't even say goodbye to them. There are people who are in the hospitals for weeks. We have a few friends from our community that are in the hospital. They got affected. So just imagine all these situations here. So this is a test for them and also a test for us who were not affected by this calamity. So we need to care and we need to share. We need to understand that caring is a noble act of a believer. But sharing the responsibility and reducing the plight of others is the result of one's caring. Yes, we are going through rough times nowadays. We need to do our part. We need to be able to help and care for others. We understand that even in Cincinnati area, there are thousands and thousands of people who lost their job. So they need help, they need support. So brothers and sisters, yes, it is not easy nowadays to be at home, to deal with this coronavirus. That the fact is we don't see our family members. For us, we cannot see our grandchildren. They cannot see us except on social media. It's not easy. Yes, some of us have to stay home. Some of us drive just to the office and go back home. Some of us, older people, cannot leave their houses. So we need to keep all of this in mind, but we need to reflect on this. If nothing happened to me, it is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what are my duties? What can I do to help those people who got affected? What are my responsibilities? We don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Yes, at Clifton Mosque, the board had to make a tough decision. It wasn't an easy decision for us to make, to close the mosque for now. We cannot pray the 5 daily prayers. It's so sad that we cannot go to Jummah. We miss being at the mosque on Friday to see each other and to pray Jummah together. Yes, we cannot pray Taraweeh. We miss that. It's the first time ever this thing happened. We cannot pray Taraweeh together. But we have to look at it as an opportunity. So, of course, every year in Clifton, we always have iftars at the masjid. So we didn't close that mosque and say no iftars. We came up with a creative idea to have this drive-through iftar. Inshallah, we're going to provide iftars for those people who want to come, drive to Clifton, get their food and go home and eat dinner with their families to break their fast. So we're going to be doing that starting today. You can come and get your food and go home. We will start giving the food, inshallah, around 6:30, from 6:30 and 7:30. Taraweeh, yes, it is sad. It's hard on all of us, but what can we do? It is a test. So you can pray Taraweeh at home. You don't have to be that person who memorized the whole Quran to be able to fulfill that sunnah. You can do it with your family members. You can carry the Quran and recite the verses, even with using short surahs. The concept here is to recite the Quran. The concept, we know the Quran was really revealed in this month. This is why it's really important. It's the sunnah to practice this and to help each one of us. So yes, we cannot meet at the masjid, but please practice this sunnah at your home with your family. Brothers and sisters, you might ask, what can we do to pass this test, inshallah? Yes, we need to realize that this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us in this test. So we need to understand that and we need to accept this. Second, we need to recognize that because it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us. Each one of us want to think seriously. Do we want to pass this test or do we want to fail this test? It's for each one of us to determine that. We need, in order for us to pass this test, If we recognize that it is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what else can we do? We need to increase our iman. We know that iman goes up and down. We need to work hard to increase our iman. We need to read more Quran. We need to spend extra time to pray. This is a great opportunity to fulfill that, to pray Taraweeh at home with your family. We need to make more dua than usual. We need to make dhikr all the time. And definitely, we need to donate to the mosque and to Muslim organizations. We have to fulfill our duty and to pay zakat al-fitr. And the sooner you pay, the easier for us to help the needy family in our community. It is $10 per person. So if you want to pay cash, please do it between 6:30 and 7:30 every day. Just go down there and Jason will have a box for zakat al-fitr. But also zakat al-mal. This is a great opportunity to donate your zakat al-mal to the masjid, and also to donate money to the masjid to help the masjid keep going and all the programs are going. Also, we need to look and help the needy in our community. We have more than 50 families that they need help. So you can help from that aspect. Of course, we have these iftars every night that we're giving away. It costs money. You could feed a person by donating $10 per person to feed one person. So if you want to donate $20 to say, I want to help to feed two people, that's great. This is good deeds, and that will help also to help another person. If you're sick, you cannot fast, you cannot make up these days. Just see how much you can afford. So لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't make it hard on people. Just donate whatever you can. Another thing we can do in this hard time, call the elders in our community. There are so many of them. See if they need help. I'm sure they need to talk to somebody. I'm sure they are bored at home. So it would be nice to be able to talk to them, to ask what we can do to help them. Call family members. Stay in touch. But the most important thing, we must believe that nothing bad will happen to us until and unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written that for us. So if the entire world gathered together to harm any of us, nothing will happen to us unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written that for us. And lastly, we must reflect on what's going on now. We have to reflect on it and learn from it and see what we can do, what lessons we learn from that. So, brothers and sisters, this is a great opportunity for us to start today. Yes, we are fasting. To start today, to donate, to make dua, to read Quran. Let us reflect on the real meaning of fasting. Let us achieve this taqwa, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us, and the objective of this fasting to reach this level of taqwa. Nowadays, more than ever, we need to be patient. We need to care for each other, and we must strengthen our community. This is a great opportunity to be together. Yes, we cannot be together physically, but we can be together thinking about each other, calling each other, talking to each other. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us in this month of Ramadan. Let us thank Allah for giving us another chance to witness this blessed month of Ramadan and to receive these rewards from Allah. Oh Allah, cleanse our heart. Oh Allah, help us to be patient now, during Ramadan and after Ramadan. Oh Allah, help us to remember the needy O Allah, help us to remember our brothers and sisters all over the world and try our best so that we can ease their need and suffering. O Allah, bless and unite our community and all Muslims around the world. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا وتقبل شهداءنا. ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم انصر المسلمين في كل مكان. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. I wish all of you a blessed month. May Allah reward, bless all of you and protect all of you. جزاكم الله خير. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.